West, we got the same kind of mild temperatures, right? You can go outside and enjoy anything except where you don't have the snow. That's the problem here in the Midwest. We are missing winter temperatures this morning, starting at 28 degrees in Minneapolis. You know what your average high is this time of year? 29. Chicago, you're in the same boat. Looking out there, courtesy of EarthCam, you can see a mild start to your morning, warming up with temperatures well above average in the 50s today. Minneapolis, we're going 30 degrees above average. And you know, today is National Innovation Day. Water skis were invented on Lake Pepin here by Ralph Samuelson back in 1922. And water skis are much more what you're thinking of than snow skis when you look at these temperatures into the Midwest. Wait till you see the warm up that is coming. So today we start our day with temperatures about at our average highs. Of course, we go up from there. We're going well above average, nearly 30 degrees above average, 60 in Des Moines, 68 in Kansas City. We've never had a snowless February on record, Kansas City. And with these kind of readings, you're not getting any snow this weekend. And as we look at the pattern, it's not just there. It's spreading all across the Midwest, across the Great Lakes, into the plains. We're going to see temperatures running well above average and breaking records. So a place like Rockford, Illinois, I was looking at your data. You might actually set records 4 days in a row as we look at some of these numbers coming in. So today we're going to 60 in Chicago, or tomorrow I should say 60 in Chicago. That will tie the record for Chicago. And then we keep it going getting into the weekend. 63 on Saturday in Chicago. We're up to 67 in KC, and St. Louis, we're right up there at 68 degrees, well above average. All the ice skating rinks outside in Sioux Falls have shut down for the season because it has been so mild and will continue to be as we look ahead to the forecast. So Sunday, looking at Chicago and Cincinnati, we're still in the 60s. We make it to the 70s in St. Louis and Minneapolis. Remember that average high, 29 degrees? To see where we're at, nearly 60 getting into the weekend. I took a look at the snowpack, if there is any up here. There's still some in North Dakota and South Dakota, but that's going to get eaten up this weekend by all this warm air. Temperatures in the mid-40s in Bismarck getting into your weekend as well. All right, so Kansas City, here's how it looks. Well above average with temperatures hitting nearly 70 for the extended range. All right, Reynolds, let's go southeast because we warm up here too, but we also NASCAR, right, too?
NASCAR, yeah, we got the Budweiser shootout. I think, isn't that this weekend? Then next week's the Daytona 500 next weekend.
Yeah. So temperatures.
It is time. As a matter of fact, after today's show, I'm going to go down to Daytona. We're going to talk to Denny Hamlin, and you know he has spotters up there on the four corners, and those guys are key to letting the driver know what's going on with the weather.
That's super cool.
Very cool.
Yes,
so I'm going to find out.
They need you up there, Cantori.
A little behind the scenes. I'll do that. Get maybe a little afterlife here after this weather thing. If it doesn't work out, I'll go be a spotter for a NASCAR driver.
I think it's working out just fine. But yeah, I think that could be an afterlife. All right, let's talk about this warmth. I mean, we got more coming this weekend with more records by next week.
Oh my goodness, everything's blooming out. It's crazy.
All right, so
you go and walk up to your trees, you can see the buds they're ready to pop. They're just ready to pop.
So it's what, like 3 weeks before?
I think so, 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, ahead of schedule here. Temperatures today a little closer to average, but the thing is, it's not getting crazy cold at night. We're still not dropping to freezing in Atlanta despite the cool down.
Now, I will admit though, this morning maybe I've worn a jacket 5 times to work this year, but this morning I was kind of like, ooh, you know, just
and
you could use one for the
now
walk
that high pressure sliding into the southeast, we'll get that this morning, but the next couple, I mean, we're warming right back up again, back to the upper 60s. And you can feel that
sun stronger. Yeah. Unfortunately, the same thing that's keeping us warm is keeping us dry in the southeast, and that's that ridge over the Gulf of Mexico.
So in general, that's the pattern. There'll be some showers on Saturday. It won't be, complete washout, but the trend to know about your weather here in the southeast is warm. 80 in Jackson, Mississippi. We're going to be 75 in Nashville, hitting records maybe in Atlanta, 75 degrees.
Yeah, if we didn't tell you that it was February 16th today, we showed you this map, you'd be like, oh, wow, it's going to be a beautiful April weekend, right?
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
That's what it looks like.
Exactly. Those are the averages. All right, Nashville, look how weighted. Like, if this is a seesaw and, like, that's warm air, I mean, that's just, like, flying high. There's so much more warm days.
I'm kind of a teeter-totter fan myself, Jen.
There you go. They don't have them at parks anymore.
That's a travesty.
They don't.
Crazy times. Guys, we're going to go from the mild to the warm.
Property damage, obviously possible with that kind of situation. Those storms blew through the southeast yesterday. Now they're through, and now we're going to talk about what comes next. So the front came through. We got that northwest wind yesterday that dried everyone out through the southeast after the rain came through. Now we're going to see high pressure building in, and that's going to be the story getting into the weekend. For the most part, there's one exception. All right, let's talk about, though, temperatures, what this means. We actually are starting starting the day closer to average for Nashville, 29, Atlanta, you're 37. You're still not 32. But we take a look at temperatures today with that north flow, keeping us close to average. We're 59 in Atlanta, 53 in Raleigh, 68 in Jacksonville. It's a one-day only day that we're going to be close to average because we are warming back up after that. The whole pattern is generally this big ridge of high pressure that is covering the eastern two-thirds of the country, keeping everyone above average here. Now, as we look at these temperatures tomorrow, getting into the weekend, going up to 60 in Nashville, 60 in Atlanta. It could be even warmer if you didn't have the clouds and rain that come with that forecast. But you jump right into the 70s by Sunday. This is when the sun comes back out. We're nearly 80 in Tallahassee. Tampa will be close to 80 as well. Monday, now we're talking about records possibly across the southeast. 75 in Atlanta, 75 in Nashville, and 73 in Raleigh. All right, Jim, here's one for you. Listen to this. Welcome back to AIM-HQ. We want to set up this next segment with what is an atmospheric river? Because we've been talking about this a lot this season, right? California's been getting a lot of rain. The West Coast in general has had a lot of moisture this season. You see these clouds? See this stream of clouds that stretches all the way to the West Coast, and you can trace it all the way back here to Hawaii. We call this a pineapple express, and this is just one version of an atmospheric river, which can account for 30 to 50% of your annual precip on the West Coast. These atmospheric rivers set up and they transport moisture, and they're the main way to transport moisture outside of the tropics. So there's a moisture tap, and it ends up funneling it all here in a very focused area. When this points at the West Coast, we end up getting a lot of rain or snow in a short period of time, and it can lead to problems. And Jim, this is what we have setting up getting into the weekend for not just the Northwest, but all the way down into California. But Jim, I saw those records you were showing, and you go back in time, that was back in 1913, 1914 that you saw that big rain. And of course, since then, infrastructure's put in to manage water, like the Oroville Reservoir and, of course, the dam and the spillway. But now, of course, we've been dealing with issues. So we want to talk about all of this rain coming into the Lake Oroville area. We've got 8 to 12 inches in the forecast of rainfall into this region over the next 5 days. If it comes all at once, it's a bigger problem than if it's spread out a little bit. And we do have a series of storms. But still, nonetheless, we are concerned about how the lake and the reservoir will be able to handle the additional water. Now, they've been bringing down the level. In fact, it's down 26 feet as of last observation last night. So that's good news. They're making room for water to come in. If we get 6.5 inches, which is conservative when you look at that forecast, that would be like 675 billion gallons of water. It's a lot of water, right? It would fill about 1 million Olympic-sized swimming pools, 2,500 Empire State Buildings, or 10,500 Transamerica Pyramid buildings worth of water. It's a lot of water, Reynolds.
It certainly is. My goodness.